would the 2008 Celtics beat 2019 Little Women?
In basketball?
Brunch! Hit it, boys!
All right, forget it, man. Let's just podcast. You ever think about that?
Yeah.
Just like forgetting about all the fanfare and just like getting down, back down.
Forgetting not even fanfare. Forgetting the fans. Just
forget the fans.
Bring it back to basics.
I believe that we're generally a forget the fans podcast. Sometimes that's even mutual. Sometimes the fans forget us.
That's true.
Then
Speaking of which,
check out other podcasts.
Hang out on the Patreon. Join Patreon. We're still there.
Patreon's got a pretty cool vibe right now.
It does.
Patreon's like a cool little club, like a nightclub that isn't super intimidating, but you feel like it's about to get super popular. And then maybe one of the owners of the Patreon says, I don't feel like it's going to get super popular. But
I feel like
maybe it will.
I feel like it's right now our Patreon it kind of had like a grand opening last month, and people were like, oh shit, this is gonna be sick. And then you realize like a month later you're like, yeah, I like that place, but
it's good.
It's not all it was hyped up to be.
The Patreon is good.
We're gonna have some fundraisers soon.
Yeah. So enough of the housekeeping though. Let's just
let's podcast. I'll give you a compliment right now. Your hair looks great.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a conversation with a friend today about how like reliant you are on good hair days. Once your hair is like at a certain length, and mine's not super long anymore.
No,
but once it gets to a certain length, your hair is kind of calling the shots for you.
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter what I wear
right now.
You are?
Yeah, I'm trying to. And
that's exciting.
Yeah, and I don't have any product in or anything, but like, look, it comes down to like my eyes.
Yeah.
So it's long. I kind of want it to look like what you've got going on right now, just kind of like swoopy.
Oh, that's very nice. Right, I haven't done much with it today.
Yeah.
I just
I want to give it like the not like a natural sort of like swoopy look.
Right, and that's a tough thing to do because a lot of products, even if they say they're matte, they're going to give it some kind of gunkiness and some sort of shine, and you don't want that. And I have very thick hair, so like if I put anything in it, it ends up making it look like something's in it. So thank you very much. But the conversation I was having with my fellow longish-haired friend, he's got hair to like his shoulders now. Once your hair gets a certain length, your hair is calling the shots on like what your style is, how you look from day to day. Like you can wear bad clothes, but if you're having a good hair day, then it's like whatever. That person looks fine.
Rock bottom hot.
Right, exactly. But if you can wear super nice clothes, and if you got long hair and it's not really doing a good thing that day, then it's like yikes, that person looks terrible. And I can tell from the nice clothes, they're trying too hard.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if you're wearing the nice clothes, it looks like you're trying, and if your hair isn't cooperating, you're just like that person's trying, but they're not fully putting it together because their hair is a disaster.
Right.
I did love what Larry David had to say in his GQ.
I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't read it, but I did. It was highlighted that he had said when it comes to fashion, he likes to do one nice item and then the rest. We've
discussed that before. That's
Really?
what rock bottom hot is, right? You have one thing going for you, and then nothing else, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that what rock bottom hot is?
I think we talked
like
about
super nice boots,
like
and then
accessorizing,
like whatever jeans,
or like a nice chain with like some shitty shirts and pants and stuff. Yeah, so I think that's
Larry David officially rock bottom hot, officially better than Rocket Man.
But I don't know if he actually follows that rule. Because, like, I've seen Larry David, and that guy he dresses pretty well.
He looks like he's always wearing athleisure, whether or not the clothing he's wearing is athleisure. Like, if he's just wearing jeans, it looks like Lululemon made those jeans.
Yeah,
and Lululemon doesn't make jeans, I'm pretty sure. But he's just always got, like, a comfy vibe going.
Yeah, and he's got, like, I don't know if it's, like, necessarily a tailored vibe, but he knows what clothes fit him.
Cool, let's do it. Let's objectify Larry David for a few minutes. Let's see. Larry.
By the way, I think that Larry David is kind of hot.
Good looking guy. Yeah, I agree. He as long as his hair doesn't get too long. When his hair gets too long, it gets a little out of control. But you know why he's a good looking guy? Because he's comfortable in his own skin.
That's very true.
You're never fully dressed without a smile. Wouldn't apply to Larry David. because then he'd be naked at all times. But being comfortable in your own skin.
But
Also,
he does have like sort of I don't want to say like a young person style, but he's got sort of that hip old guy fashion to him.
How does Jerry Seinfeld look now? I've seen him in stuff recently, but still, I gotta Google him. I think Jerry Seinfeld looks better now than he did when he was young.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I think that he looks somewhat similar, so I guess that if you're kind of like balancing the scales or weighing the scales, then it would be better now.
Right, but you just do the normal...
That's true.
Men typically look better as they age thing, and Seinfeld looked okay.
He sort of looked more like a weatherman when he was younger. Now he kind of has like the distinguished older gentleman look to him.
His length of hair just didn't work for him in the 90s.
That's true. It was if always thinning.
Right. If he'd gone shorter, then he would have looked fine. Like the classic Seinfeld purple dress shirt vest shot of him with his arms crossed. Yeah. Everybody knows it. His hair just looks like if it were shorter, he'd look so much better. And then you look at him in, say, the early 2000s when he was beginning to gray, and he had pretty short hair, like right against his head, high and tight.
Yeah.
That was a good look for Seinfeld. Yeah. All right, now let's objectify Michael Richards. Has Michael Richards ever looked good?
Oh, God.
Let's see. I mean... See, so I pulled up a picture of Michael Richards. I was like, oh, this looks good. He's got like a big beard, and he looks like a cousin of Jeff Goldblum. And I click on the picture, and it has whatever page it's from, and it says Michael Richards. My racist outburst in 2006 was, quote, and I'm like, and now I'm reminded that, of course, Michael Richards
canceled.
Had a terrible.
He was like a canceled hipster. He was a
before
pioneer.
Canceling
was cool.
He was a pioneer in getting canceled.
I don't know, like if you can really consider what happened to him, like getting canceled, because I feel
he
like
didn't get caught for doing something.
Getting canceled
1,000 years earlier.
Yeah, and also like getting canceled surrounds like someone. I feel like it surrounds someone else exposing you for what you did. And like your problematic behavior, he exposed himself by just doing it in public.
Right, and that guy, that's if you remember that, that's a tough video because like the guy's yelling back at him like, "Please don't say like, hey man, like that's uncalled for."
Well,
like,
literally
please don't
everybody
say stuff
in the crowd,
like that.
everybody in the crowd was like, "No, oh no,
right,
oh no,"
but not even like a, this is taking a bad turn. Everyone's like, no. No, don't do that.
It was so painful because he kept trying to like, it felt like he kept trying to dig himself out of it, but only just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper.
Should we align ourselves with or distance ourselves from Ricky Gervais now?
Yeah, I guess. Because that's like the cool thing this week.
He was what he was.
But it's who he's always been.
Right.
So, like, why are we having this guy? What did you expect?
I think that, like, he knew, like, he played off of, like, this is where people use their platform to do this, and I'm just going to call them all assholes for it.
Yeah, and it's also
funny and harmless enough.
I think that it's funny. And it's what you have to expect from Ricky Gervais. But I also think that, like, how many times can Ricky Gervais do that?
Right.
Where, like, it kind of starts losing its luster.
Earth. Yeah. That was Sean Gentili, I remember, had that issue with Jon Stewart. Like, as the Daily Show was, like, in its later Jon Stewart years, every day it was like, you won't believe it. Like, I forget what it was. Like, either owned or something, but it was like...
Skewered.
Yeah. Jon Stewart skewered this person. Oh, man, he got him. And you're like...
I bet that he just goes on like a 6-minute rant where he just says like very true and very nasty stuff about him. Does it have to hit the news cycle every single time?
That gave birth to a style that I just don't fuck with, man. Like the... Like, I know John Oliver's funny, but like last
very
week
funny,
tonight,
very smart,
right? But like,
it's the same thing every time. You just like swap out the parts.
Exactly. It's like, hey, this dumb bad person. Have you ever like he's so dumb, but he doesn't know that he's dumb. Well, here's why he's dumb, and you're like, yo, the initial thesis statement, like the premise, the whole thing, like the thing that we base this all on is this is a dumb person. So we already know that he's dumb. If you are going to end this by touchdown, he's dumb.
It's
like,
dunking on a little Tykes hoop.
Exactly.
So, yeah, like Ricky Gervais, I thought he was funny, and I thought that what he had to say was largely true for the most part, but like also I can't get that excited about it because you had to know that was coming. And also, I mean, he does the same shit every time, and he goes up there and he's like, I guess this will be the last time that I do this.
Right.
I mean, when that's your like attitude and that's like your persona, where you're like, I don't care about doing this. I hate being here. I'm very miserable. Well, that becomes less effective when you're doing it every couple of years.
Yeah. Who was the most offensive person at the Oscars? Or the most offensive part of the Golden Globes? Another contender, Nick Jonas, and I don't know who that is, going up and being like, hi, we're a couple. Does this count as date night, babe? I don't think so. Uh-oh, sounds like I'm in trouble. Here are the nominees. Did you see that?
I didn't see that. I watched like half of the Golden Globes.
I decided like 20 minutes before the Golden Globes, I was like, oh, the Golden Globes are tonight. I'm not going to watch. Who cares? I'll just do whatever. And then they were on the same channel that the football game was on.
Yeah.
So I was like, I guess if I just leave the like,
yeah,
it's less work to watch the Golden Globes than to turn off the TV.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll watch it.
I watched the opening monologue, and then I saw that, or I heard that it was 3 hours. I think Ricky Gervais said in his opening monologue, he's like, "Oh, this is going to be a miserable 3 hours," and I was like, "Oh, 3 hours. I don't have to watch this entire thing. I'm not interested in that." And then I turned it on for like the second half for the movie stuff.
Yeah. Best speech. I don't think she intended it for this. Maybe she did, but it was kind of played in like a halfway manner that I wasn't sure if she intended this or not. Awkwafina, when she won Best Actress, she walked up, got the award, and like half confidently like shook her head and was like, "All right, this is good. This is like this is worked out," and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I think that I like her vibe a lot.
Yeah, she's
just like, I don't want to say like she doesn't care, but she's got a very like, this is what it is. I'll take it at face value and I'll move on sort of vibe.
Right. I'm trying to think of what other comedians that's like, right, just kind of laid back, and Hannibal's like that a bit.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, whatever. This is nice, but she's good, man. Like, I mean, I still thought that she shouldn't have been like the breakout star of Crazy Rich Asians, but she was awesome in The Farewell. And I thought, what were the other nominees for Best Actress?
I gotta tell you, I don't care about the Golden Globes at all.
Okay, but like, who's going to be in the discussion for the Oscars?
That's a good question.
Because she
I feel like so much time has been spent on like the Best Actor discussion.
Right. Well, we haven't decided
stacked
this year which one has the stronger field, because it's
gotta be the
always
guys.
it always switches off. One year there's like 10 heavy hitters for Best Actress. Like last year. Remember last year Best Actress was like, you had to figure out who to even put in there from the favorite, the favorite, because it was so friggin' stacked. Glenn Close was awesome.
Yeah.
And I remember, I forget who else was nominated, but I was adamant that Glenn Close didn't deserve it. That
I wanted Melissa McCarthy to win.
And right, Melissa McCarthy, she was so good in it. Best Actress nominees 2020. They're not out yet, but this will at least give us some speculation. Like, okay, so ScarJo, Saoirse Ronan, Charlize Theron.
Oh, Renee Zellweger. She won for Judy.
Is Judy out?
I believe so.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I have no interest in it. I don't know anything about Judy Garland. I don't like Renee Zellweger. I just have no interest in seeing that movie at all.
So, ScarJo, I think, deserves a nomination. Saoirse Ronan definitely deserves it. Charlize Theron, I mean, she looked so much like Megyn Kelly that she could get nominated the same way Christian Bale got nominated for Vice. I remember that drove me crazy. Let's just like revisit our old.
Well, I mean, the ultimate
Oscar
one,
takes.
The ultimate one for that for me is
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
Jesus, that was such a pain in the ass, and he won over Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was the stupidest.
That made me mad. That made me real mad.
Sucked.
Yeah.
That was 2 years in a row, right? That they nominated. They made a big stink out of like, this person looked like that.
Exactly like him. Yeah.
So then, if you're gonna play by those rules, Charlize Theron not only has to be nominated, but maybe she's a favorite.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I guess Renee Zellweger would be the only like playing a real person. Because that's what has become like the best actor, best actress has been biopic shit. Where like, wow, this person is imitating this person. It's the best imitation award,
right? And that stinks.
It stinks. Yeah,
that stinks. I did have this thought. What's the dude's name? Taron Egerton, whatever.
Yeah,
he won best actor in a musical or comedy or musical, and whatever. I thought he was really good. I think that he deserves a nomination, but it did give me that like, I got like a wait. Is Rocket Man gonna win a bunch of shit?
I feel like Rocket Man,
last year
Rocket Man is a Golden Globes movie more than it's an Oscar movie.
Okay, because didn't Bohemian Rhapsody, did that win like Best Picture?
It won Best Picture.
Oh
yeah.
My God, kill me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, like, I think that if there is, I think it's a good sign that it didn't clean up. But it did well, but it didn't clean up, I would say.
Yeah, I'd be really upset, I'll say, if Rocket Man, which is hashtag exactly as good as Rocket Man, won stuff in a year where this was so good. Like, I wouldn't, like,
Shape
I
of
Water.
With that. I really liked Rocket Man.
Okay, Shape of Water, really good movie. I would say better than Rocket Man, but, like, not the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Green Book, really good movie, not the best movie I've seen in my life. When those won Best Picture, I was like, I wanted other things to win, and I believe that was not the Best Picture. But I think that's like that's fine if it wins.
Yeah.
Right, it's good enough to win Best Picture. Like Rocket Man, I don't think is good enough to be nominated for Best Picture.
I agree with that. And I think Rocket Man, you could say like stage design, production, like costume design, any one of those. But just in terms of like it being a better movie than a lot of like the other nominations or whatever, no, I don't think so. But if we're gonna go with the Best Imitation Award for actor, it's a very good sign for Jonathan Pryce this year.
Jonathan Pryce,
he was in the Two Popes.
Okay,
he played Pope Francis. I mean, both of the performances.
I haven't seen that yet,
dude. It's really good. And you know me, I don't care about religion. I don't care about the story about the popes at all. Don't give a goddamn. Went into that movie expecting that I was just gonna be like, oh, this is
like I have to see this movie, so like I will.
Yeah,
like that's why you saw it.
Yeah, and so I watched it and I was like, wow, that movie was much better than it had any business being. Jonathan Pryce was unbelievable as Pope Francis, and Anthony Hopkins was really, really great as well.
My sympathy to one movie, which is just gonna absolutely get the shaft here. I've never thought of a movie that's been put in a worse position than 1917.
Why do you say that?
Because this has been... I've seen nothing but incredible movies for like the last 3 weeks, and people say 1917 is awesome.
Yeah.
So now I'm going into this super excited to see it, but also like I am accustomed to movies now being the best.
That's true. And like if I was 1917, you got such a late release that you see all these other fucking awesome movies hitting the scene and being talked about in the Oscars thing. Like if I was like in charge of 1917, I'd be like, why don't we move this back like a couple months, move it into the next cycle.
Move into and then start it. People would forget it, man.
That is, I mean, the people didn't forget like Get Out.
Right, I was going to say Get Out's the only example I can think of, though. That
Black Panther came out in the spring too. I mean, it was a weak year for movies and snuck in, but like, I don't know. If a movie's good enough, you shouldn't forget it.
I would say let's make this decision. 1917, you can move it back to next year or keep it for this year's crop. What do you do? No brainer. Move it back to next year.
Yeah.
Everybody says this movie rules.
Yeah.
We've got enough blue chippers this year.
Right.
Like
I don't need 1917 in the discussion. Like,
right.
I'm kind of dreading it getting into the discussion because having a hard time already.
All right.
I'm a kid who's having a tough time online.
Let's send 3 movies to next year, because I legitimately think we can afford to flip 3 movies to next year and guarantee that this year will be stacked and next year will be stacked.
That's a really good call, because I mean, had it worked out where like last year's crop was like next year's crop,
yeah,
you could definitely throw 3 movies in there and it'd be much stronger.
I mean, The Lighthouse have you seen The Lighthouse yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Lighthouse, not the best, but when I saw it, I was like, all right, this is best picture quality. This is like bottom tier, Best Picture quality. Now, Lighthouse makes me throw up.
Oh, God.
Worst fucking movie I've ever seen the last, couple months. I was so excited when I saw Lighthouse. I was texting friends about it. I was like, yo, man, I think Lighthouse is A24. I was like, man, they keep doing it. And Lighthouse is, a really good movie, but it's not the best movie. And every movie I've seen for a while now has been the best. So, let me see. Jojo Rabbit I want to keep for this year.
You know what I could do? What I would be totally fine with? 100% moving Knives Out to next year, because Knives Out is so fun, but I don't think that it competes with the real heavy hitters of this year.
I'll do that.
I would be very, very thrilled to move Knives Out to next year.
So let's move Knives Out to next year. Now I'm going to start a document. I don't know what we're going to do with this document, but all right. Next year, we're moving Knives Out, 1917 automatically. Want to throw the Lighthouse? Want to push Lighthouse back to next year?
Yeah, I'd be cool pushing the Lighthouse in there. Or
Loose isn't going to get nominated for anything, but it was really good. Same with Peanut Butter Falcon, really good movies. But I don't think even in other years they'd get nominated. But we're still keeping. So for this year, we've still got. This year, we've got Parasite, Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time. Let's see. I don't know if it'll get nominated. You'll agree with this. I would do Last Black Man in San Francisco.
What, pushing it to next year?
No, for this year as a worthy of being nominated for
definitely.
Best Picture.
That was for most of the year, even as a lot of these heavy hitters were coming out, that was still at the very top of my list.
Okay, and
I think I put it as my second favorite movie of 2019.
Is it getting buzz as
no? Nobody's talking about it.
So let's see. This year would still have Jojo Rabbit, which Jojo Rabbit hasn't moved from. It's been in the 5 or 6 slot, and other things have jumped up into the top 3, and it should have been pushed down for something that started at 5 or 6. But the farther I've gotten away from it, the higher I've thought of it, and I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah,
that's a really good movie,
and I think that's a really strong thing. That I think that maybe is the strongest thing you can say about a movie is when you put it in a spot and you're not willing to put anything above it, and you kind of just leave it in that spot.
That's how I felt about Whiplash when I first saw it. I was like, all right, this is top 2, top 3 of the year for me. And then as I was starting to see, it was the first year I started watching movies, and then as I started to see more and more, I was like, I'm going to go back and watch Whiplash, because I think that was the best one. And I went back and saw it again, and I was like, yeah, that movie rules.
I think Parasite is the best movie of the year, because I just I cannot ever imagine moving that out of below a number 2. I
think so too.
And that's been this same line of thinking for 3 straight months. So with all these great movies that have come out, and I've never been once willing to move Parasite out of the top 2. It's got to be the best movie of the year, I think.
Yeah. So this is going to be so difficult because I saw Little Women. You saw it a while ago. Loved it. I loved it too. I don't know if I said I know for a fact it's not my favorite movie of the year. Yeah. And I know that it's not the best movie of the year, but it's in the very, this is very vague, the 3 to 10 range.
Yeah. That speaks to this year.
Right.
Because if you said that any other year, it could be
fuck off. Give me a real answer.
Right. There's just been so many good, if it hits top 10 this year, it is a fantastic movie.
Right, so, exactly.
For me, it's very much a strong combination of an awesome movie and a favorite, because it's such a good watch, and it's only I did put it in my top 10, and I think I put it around number 7.
Okay,
and I don't know. It might move up a few spots once I look back on this year, just because that movie, the more I think about it, it's a delight.
Right.
It's awesome.
It's very... Randy said this to us, and I'm sure that we both planned on saying it ourselves, but it's just so charming.
Yeah.
And you said it's it's a favorite, and it's a great movie. It also... It's a reputation movie, you know? It's Gerwig and it's Ronan, who are... Gerwig's always going to give you a good movie. Probably with
like,
Ronan.
Yeah.
Ronan's
right.
always going to give you like one of the best performances you've ever seen in your life. And then honestly, I didn't know going into it. I saw Laura Dern and I gave like a like I was watching like a rapper I'd never heard before, and they were like the best rapper I've ever heard in my life. You know how like when you hear like rhymes
for
and
the
stuff,
first
like
time,
you just have this like experience of like, oh my god, like this is physically beating me up. That's what I let out when I saw. I'm like, and this has Laura Dern. Get out
I
of
had
here.
that experience with this movie, but it was with Bob Odenkirk because like Bob Odenkirk shows up the halfway through the movie out of fucking nowhere, and I'm just like, well, now you're just flexing,
right? Now you got like late career, legendary actor Bob Odenkirk, who obviously wasn't he was a legend in his own right, like 10 years ago for different stuff, but now he's got some real legitimacy that comes with him when he's in something. So I love that they chose him for that role. Chalamet, I don't know if you know this.
You're sick of Chalamet.
Oh, okay.
You're shall exhausted.
I've been, what would you say? So what's a synonym for tired? Is exhausted, tired, I'm shover it? No. I'm tired, sleepy. Let's objectify some synonyms for synonym for tired. Jaded, shalamated.
Shalom over.
All right, vote in the. I think I said shalom over it.
Oh, did you?
I said shover it. Okay. Shalom over it. I feel like you also have to have a mustache if you're doing that.
Let's get the listeners involved.
Vote in the Patreon. Was this a worthwhile discussion? Figuring out what to call being a little tired.
How do we say that we're a little tired of Timothy Chalamet?
And mostly, is it worth devoting any time to?
I'm gonna vote no to that because I'm not in the same boat as you. I love Timothy Chalamet. Every time he's in something, I still get excited.
I'm like, okay, he's a cute little white boy. All right,
he's a very good actor.
He is a good actor. That's the thing. He was great in Little Women. So that's where I was headed. Was
he's playing Bob Dylan in a musical biopic next year?
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've been on the team Hold Your Horses with Timothy Chalamet.
I'm a team Hold Your Horses with the musical biopics.
Okay. Oh, you're not getting a complaint out of me there. I mean, so far there hasn't been an amazing one.
Okay.
Right? What was?
No, Rocketman wasn't amazing, but it was like probably the best one that we've gotten so far.
I would agree. What other ones have we gotten?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Just those two.
And the Motley Crue one, right? Was that Motley Crue?
I didn't watch
Netflix?
That. I didn't watch that. Did
Me
you?
neither, no. I heard that it was like so bad it was good.
I got in this fight with our friend Brian. If Motley Crue and Def Leppard are playing a show, who headlines?
I'll tell you.
You're going to pull a Billie Eilish?
What, I don't get it?
And say, like, you don't know much about them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, who's not headlining? Me, because I'm not going to be there. Don't care.
And this is Pete's officially out on music.
Yes. Yeah.
I had a moment yesterday. I realized, like, I was looking at the Lineup Festival, and I tweeted, I'm finally... I don't know any of the bands in the fourth line of that music festival poster years old. And then someone responded, not a music guy anymore. And I was like, this is a brunch listener. They're jumping on the
brands.
Right, yeah, I'm just stealing it from Pete. I think music's out. No. So Timothy Chalamet was very good in this, but everybody was very good in this.
Yeah, the performances were great. And like a big reason why I was so impressed with this movie is because like my experience heading into this movie was a really weird one. I saw that they were making Little Women and I was like, "Oh my god, really? Jesus Christ. Give it a rest with Little Women. We've had so many like versions of Little Women made."
I legitimately didn't know that. And that's because that's my own movie ignorance. Are there other
It's like once a decade.
Really?
Yeah, like once a decade we're making Little Women again.
So like Little Women is like Godzilla.
Yes.
Okay.
But Godzilla, they're making different versions of it at least.
And Randy was in Godzilla. If Randy was in Little Women, the credits at the end would have said, "In loving memory of our castmate."
I was going to say
Randy Havens, who died of happiness
I was going to say
during shooting.
If
of this
Randy
movie.
was in Little Women, he would have been the worst person in Little Women because he just wouldn't have been able to contain his excitement for being in Little Women.
All of his skill and talent and training would be undone by
unhinged Randy just loving his life so much that he can't control himself.
It would be like if somebody was like, "Hey, like, DJ, like practice guitar for a long time. Like you're gonna play this little gig." I'd be like, "Okay, give me some time. I can get ready for it." And then they're like, "Okay, the gig is with like the Billy Joel or something like that," and I would probably stink at guitar that night.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'd be like, this is
too much pressure.
Right.
Too much pressure, and I'm just like
too much
starstruck.
Was that pun?
No. Is that a Billy Joel song?
Pressure.
I know that's I know Under Pressure.
You don't know Pressure?
No. I'm not a music guy.
You ain't shit with music, man. Like you have committed. You really don't know Pressure.
Yeah, I even took away the stuff that I did know. I'm just not a music guy, and I just erased it on the hard drive.
Do me a favor.
Okay.
Why don't you rattle... No, I don't want to put you on the spot. I was going to say, name me some Billy Joel songs, because I'd be interested to know...
Could name the hits.
I mean, Pressure's a hit.
Yeah, but I bet you think like a million
I'm
things.
that guy. Yeah. I'm like, you don't know all of Ween's hits? Billy, I feel like people are going to say, wow, and that's a respect thing to you.
Well, I'm committing to the bit.
You're committing
to the bit.
You did know Pressure.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot it.
You really don't know Pressure.
No. But yeah, Little Women just keeps getting remade, and also like once I was very out on it. Then I started to actually give it a chance with the trailers and stuff, and I sort of opened myself up to it, and I was like, okay, Greta Gerwig, Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh.
That's the thing. Even if you weren't excited for it, you know it's going to be good.
Chalamet, like.
Even didn't need that part.
Even if I didn't know that it was going to be good, I knew that I had to see it.
Right.
And so I was more accepting to it. And then I had it in. And I also had the fear that, like, it's Little Women. It's, like, such a big thing. And, like, there's the wokeness factor where if, like, you say that you don't like this movie, people are going to be like, well, you're sexist. That's why. Blah, blah, blah. It's like
I feel like, so I hope that that's out. I think that there's, like, we've discussed this. There's a fear of that with people. There is a fear of that. Where they're like, I'm afraid if I say I don't like this, that I might be accused of not liking who made it or whatever.
Anytime you don't like something that's like important to somebody else.
And I'll say like that fear is inherently sexist, racist, whatever it may be, because you're treating people differently based on what they are. And you could say like I'll give the example of like, I would have loved it if The Kitchen was good because I like all the people that were in it.
Yeah.
They got together and they made a shit movie. Like, I would hope that nobody... I don't think... Like, we saw that movie and we were like, hey, that movie sucked. We talked about it.
Right.
We had our laughs or whatever. And I never even gave it a thought of, like, wait, could this be misconstrued as problematic or sexist or whatever? And if we said, like, hey, now... Not to be sexist, but we didn't like this movie. That's being sexist.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and that's all to say that, like, Little Women was everything that I wanted it to be, and I 100% enjoyed it. And I was, I guess, like a little bit relieved that I liked it as much as I did. But also, like, mostly, I was impressed that it was able to make me like it as much as I did because I couldn't get past the fact that like I went into it being like another Little Women adaptation, and with like such a stacked cast with such a high bar for Greta Gerwig, for Saoirse Ronan, for like Emma Watson, for Florence Pugh, for Timothée Chalamet, for Laura Dern, for Meryl Streep. Like to put all of those things, I felt like it was a dangerous combination.
Why can't I remember who Streep is?
She's the aunt.
Really, that was Streep?
Yeah.
Hilarious. I legitimately didn't know that.
Really?
I knew she was somebody.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. Like, my brain just didn't process that was
She was
Meryl
like
Streep.
the uppity aunt.
Yeah. She was a bit mean.
Yeah.
She took Florence Pugh with her to Europe. Shouts out spoilers. Shouts out you for the spoiler warning that you put in the last episode.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty good, huh?
So I didn't have the Little Women fatigue going in. If anything, I was like, going into The Favorite, I was like, I just don't like stuff that was set a bajillion years ago. So I'm probably not going to find this interesting. And The Favorite ended up being like one of my favorite movies. So I was
for sure.
So I didn't have much like apprehension going into this movie, and I knew that you said it was great. I knew that everybody said it was great. It's like I think it's got 100% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Does it really?
I think so. It's 95% tomato meter, 92% audience score. I think it deserves higher than that because even if you didn't love it, because isn't the audience score like yes or no, and then 100 like 100%?
I think all of Rotten Tomatoes is sort of yes or no.
Okay.
Like you're not. That's not based on grades of the movie. That's just based on
like did
fresh,
you like it or not?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't understand how somebody couldn't at least like it. We've gotten this whole conversation about Little Women without talking about Florence Pugh, which is nuts because she was incredible in it. I said this to you and Randy after. Went in knowing that Ronan and Dern, who I did not know was in the movie.
So you didn't go into the movie?
No, yes. I went into the movie knowing that Saoirse Ronan and Laura Dern are locks to be A+ in anything they're in.
But you said that you didn't know Laura Dern was in the movie.
Yeah, you're missing something. I didn't know that Laura Dern was in the movie, but I went into the movie with the knowledge that I consider Ronan and Laura Dern to, no matter what they're in, they're going to be great.
Gotcha.
Didn't know that yet about Florence Pugh. Had an inkling, but this she's like
that yet, though?
In the club.
You think so?
Yeah, I still haven't seen her in enough things, but she was so good in both of them.
I mean, she's batting 1,000, but she's batting 1,000 in a 2-for-2 bet.
We've not seen Fighting with My Family. That's the other thing she's
true.
in.
Yeah.
Should we check it out just to find out whether or not she's in that club?
Yeah, but I mean
she was so good in this, but also that's an awesome role. Like, if I were in Little Women and they were like, all right, you can play anybody, I'd be like, Amy.
Yeah, definitely.
That's by far the best one to play.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's between her and Saoirse Ronan's character.
Nah, that's too much heavy lifting. Saoirse Ronan's character, you could ruin the movie if you're not good in that role.
True,
so like
but
you need
you're the star if you crush it.
Right. So you need like a LeBron James to play that role, to carry that team. So I honestly don't know how many people would have done that better than Saoirse Ronan. So like you need a major
Absolutely
heavy hitter.
agree.
You need like a Saoirse Ronan to do it. I feel like Amy could have been done well by a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Florence Pugh though just
hit the ceiling.
Did it so much better than 99%.
Yeah, and we had this discussion too. Emma Watson, her character, like we had the discussion, like, or I brought up the point, like, I don't know if Emma Watson is good. Like, I just really I can't tell yet. She's obviously she's been a big part of my life, being Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter movies, and I love her just based off of like. She's the most adorable person in the world, and I think that she's like a good person, and she's very, very smart and very talented. But I don't know if she's like that great of an actress, because like I haven't seen her really crush it in anything.
I'd agree. Who else did we ask that about? It wasn't Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
I know you. I think you brought that up about Brad Pitt. Like, is he amazing?
Well, I said that like Brad Pitt just keeps playing like different versions of himself. It's like
the actor,
we know you can be cool.
Like Jeffrey, a cool Brad Pitt walks in, and you're like, okay. I did like
the same thing about George Clooney. Like, I don't know if George. So
Clooney's like the. So this is what probably happened. You brought that up, and then I probably gave the example of George Clooney.
I always
he's
bring
like
up
the
George
ultimate
Clooney.
like.
Yeah. The quintessential. Is he any good?
Super handsome, and like he's a big celebrity.
And I like him.
Is he amazing? Right.
Mm-hmm. So you're never mad when George Clooney's in anything, but
right.
I don't know if he's that great.
Emma Watson was. I thought Emma Watson was good in this, but she was not a good character. And
that's
again, you're in a movie with you're like the 7th best player on that team, and he shouts out someone taking that role, knowing it's like inviting Kendrick to guest on your song.
Yeah,
you're like, hey, you want to come in here and absolutely put me in a coma? And have everyone come out talking about everyone but you? Yeah.
Emma Watson is like sort of like the James Posey of like that Celtics team, where it's like she's pretty good in the right role, but like if you sign her after she wins a championship,
I think they could have made the movie without Emma Watson though. James Posey, like the Celtics technically needed. I would say that James Posey was like.
What about like a PJ Brown?
Yes. Okay.
PJ Brown.
PJ Brown, bring him in halfway through the season.
I feel like that's
on like a buyout.
That's disrespectful to Emma Watson. I think she's a little better than that. But
we should do a segment. No one will care. Let's break down every cast, making every cast the 2007-08 Boston Celtics.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be funny.
Let's just do it right now off the top of our heads. Okay.
Well, Saoirse Ronan is. I would say.
Saoirse Ronan's KG, I would say.
Yeah, I was going to say who's the most important person on the roster. Is it Pierce or is it KG? So I think
it was KG.
I think it's a 1-2 with Florence Pugh and Saoirse Ronan. So I think that's a good comparison if we're doing this team.
But Florence Pugh was a beast in this movie, and that makes you think Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, and Pierce was the face of the franchise. And I think that if you're talking about a Greta Gerwig movie, Saoirse Ronan's going to be the face of the franchise.
Okay, so Saoirse Ronan is Paul Pierce. Let's go Florence Pugh is Kevin Garnett. I'm just really quickly going to pull up the cast.
I'm going to say Timothy Chalamet is Ray Allen.
I could see that. I agree with that, actually.
Because he's important. He's very important. He's like sort of part of the big three, and he's intertwined with the other two.
Okay. Who is Laura Dern Doc Rivers?
No, Doc Rivers has to be Greta Gerwig.
Oh, okay.
She's leading
right, because also man. Like technically not in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Greta Gerwig is.
I think that Laura Dern is Rajon Rondo because she's sort of setting everybody else up.
Okay,
she's the mom. She's running the floor. Laura Dern runs the floor in that movie.
Okay, who's Perk?
Perk.
You know who could be Perk is Chris Cooper.
Yeah, I think that I could see that. Does Chris Cooper? Yeah, I think Chris Cooper gets into the starting five. So I'm willing to put him there.
All right. Cooper is Perk. Now, here's an important one.
That means we're not putting Emma Watson in the starting five. I feel like she's got to be in there. But is she Perk?
Emma Watson?
I think she could be Perk. Because like if you take Emma Watson away from it,
right?
She's replaceable. Perk was replaceable. He was good. He worked well with others.
It's hard to say though that Perk was replaceable when, and this is apples and oranges, I guess. But then you're like, well, you learned a couple years later that you couldn't win without Perk, but that was a different team. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So Cooper, you know who Cooper might be? Cooper might be Tony Allen.
Okay, yeah,
Cooper's
I like that.
Tony Allen. That. Okay, now we're cooking. And Emma Watson is Kendrick Perkins. Let's see.
You know who? Emma Watson's husband is. So
that's
Big Baby Davis.
I was going to say that Big Baby is the French guy, but
no, he's not that important.
Who's Emma Watson's husband? What's that guy's?
I think his name's like Mike or something. It's super fucking boring.
John Brooke.
Okay, fair enough.
Right? Or wait, or is John Brooke the one that was barking up Amy's tree?
No, I think John Brooke is I think
she's like, everything's okay, John Brooke, because John Brooke is my husband and I am John Brooke's wife. And I'm like, all right, give it a rest with John Brooke. And they come out afterwards, they're like, do you know that line was improvised? And we're like, oh, God. All right, fine. Emma Watson, not that good. So John Brooke is Big Baby. Was anybody? Before we do that, let's ask: was anyone in this movie a Big Baby? Because that could be given to. I mean, Amy was a bit of a big baby at points.
Amy
burning the novel.
Oh yeah,
that is some
that was some
stuff.
Petty shit.
That was petty. So who's the pettiest on the Celtics? Probably Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, that's
so. Wait, did we give Florence Pugh, Kevin?
Yeah,
okay,
it's hitting levels now.
So petty and a beast.
But now we gotta talk about, because anytime you do this, you gotta say what team would win if they played now. Would the 2008 Celtics beat Little Women in a basketball game?
Would the 2007-8 Celtics beat?
Would the 2008 Celtics beat 2019 Little Women?
In basketball?
Yeah, in basketball. I mean, I'm going to have to go yes.
Yes, they're better at it.
Yeah.
Basketball. They're better at basketball. Those are professional athletes. And
it's a tough call, but...
And it's a 2007-08 version. So, like, we are legitimately asking if you take the best basketball team on the planet...
Any NBA Finals.
Right.
Between the 2019 Little Women versus the 2008 Boston Celtics,
we are
the actual NBA team.
Asking actors and actresses to play a 7-game series against...
literal Kevin Garnett backing down Florence Pugh in the paint.
And their 07-08 Celtics are healthy?
Healthy. All healthy.
All healthy?
Stamina turned off.
That is
just a 5-on-5.
4-game sweep. Now let's ask if we ask the 2007-08 Celtics to make a movie, are they as good as the cast?
I don't know. Kevin Garnett was pretty good.
Kevin Garnett was pretty good in Uncut Gems.
Rajon Rondo was supposed to be in Uncut Gems.
Right. He was supposed to have a couple scenes.
Yeah.
And he messed it up.
Paul Pierce. I don't know. Ray Allen.
Ray Allen he got game. Whoa. So this is closer.
This is way closer.
All right.
I don't know if I would believe it though. If you're taking the same script
and giving
it to
these
guys roles, and they're supposed to be.
So now let's turn it around. Let's cast the 2007-08 Celtics as Little Women. Okay, this is good. This is good. See, good thing I opened up this document. Okay, 07-08 Celtics. All right. Paul Pierce is going to play. Well, Kevin Garnett is getting played for sure by Florence Pugh.
You mean Kevin Garnett is playing Florence Pugh's character, Amy?
Yes. Okay. So Kevin Garnett plays Amy.
I don't know about that though, because I feel like I get where you're coming from, but I feel like if we're taking this script and you're like, which one of the Celtics is immediately going off to war and leaving everybody behind? It's got to be Kevin Garnett.
That's true.
So I think Kevin Garnett's got to play the dad.
Kevin Garnett is going to play something March, I would assume. What's the guy's last name? What's the guy's first name?
I don't know.
Mr. March?
Mr. March.
Randy March?
No, this is America.
Father March. They don't give him a name.
Really?
They give him some That Thing You Do player.
I knew that he was
credit.
very unimportant to this family dynamic. They kept talking about how important Father was.
Mm-hmm.
He really wasn't. He came home and nothing changed.
Ray Allen, I feel pretty good about saying Ray Allen plays Meg. Ray Allen could also do Beth.
No, let's give him Meg.
Ray Allen, I feel, because he was good and he got game, but I feel like everything we've heard and know about Ray Allen is that he's just kind of over everything.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, I want to for sure be a big part of it, but I don't really want to do anything. So do we?
Yeah, I think.
You'd be like, all right, we give you Beth. You're going to be in a lot of the big scenes.
You're technically like sort of considered a part of the big three.
Right.
You're the least. You're the least important part, or like you're the. I don't know. I would say like the third one.
I think that Paul Pierce plays Joe. I think that's like
we stick. They'll trade. Yeah.
All right.
I'm fine with that.
So who's going to play? Actually, I got confused for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I was
this one's a lot harder.
All right. Ray Allen could play.
Actually, Kevin Garnett could play. I feel like Kevin Garnett could play any one of these characters, but Kevin Garnett could play Aunt March because she was just a.
Yes, I did say right. Like but there's also some wisdom there.
Yeah, like I think she cares, like, and she has their interests at heart,
and like useful,
but she's blunt and she's rough, a little rough around the edges.
Okay, and who trash talked more offensively than
Aunt March,
than Kevin Garnett?
You're right.
Like those are both. So who wins in a trash talk off between Aunt Marge, general character.
March.
What's her name? Oh, March. You're saying March.
Aunt Marge.
Hey, you want to just pull the
Aunt Marge Simpson?
Yeah, want to pull the plug on this game and just end the podcast? Word.
Oh, I just love the kind of woman who can walk over a man. I mean like a goddamn marching band. She says like literally music is the air she breathes. And the malaprops make me wanna fucking scream. I wonder if she even knows what that word means. Well, it's literally not that. Oh, oh, oh. Of the few main things I hate about her, one's her petty vogue ideas. Someone's been told too many times they're beyond their years. By every half-wit of distinction she keeps around. And now every insufferable convo features her patiently explaining the cosmos, of which she is in the middle. Oh my God, I swear this never happens. Lately I can't stop the wheels from spinning. I feel so unconvincing when I fumble with your buttons. Oh, she blames her excess on my influence, but gladly hoovers all my drugs. I found her naked with her best friend in the tub. We sang Silent Night in 3 parts, which was fun. Till she said that she sounds just like Sarah Vaughan. I hate that soulful affectation white girls put on. Why don't you move to the Delta? I obliged later on when you begged me to choke ya.